Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Favorites and Fails, where we break down our favorite and least favorite parts of the bikes that we've been riding. So, what you have here is a 2018 Honda Goldwing Tour. It weighs about 840 pounds with a full tank of gas. It makes close to 100 horsepower, and if you want one for yourself, it's going to set you back $26,700 American dollars. I have spent a lot of time on this motorcycle. I've toured on it, I've commuted on it, I have even spun it around for a few laps on a racetrack, and there is a lot to unpack here. So what I'm going to do is start with the big ticket items. At the top of my list of favorites on this motorcycle has got to be the engine. Now, we ran it on the dyno and it makes 98 horsepower and 108 foot-pounds of torque. More impressively is that it delivers all of that torque at like 1200 RPM, basically just above idle, and you have pure fun factor going right to the rear wheel. Now, I know some people will say this engine doesn't have the sporting performance of a K1600, or it doesn't have the personality of a big V-twin, but I like to think that this engine is sort of like the Mr. Rogers of motorcycle engines. It's refined, it's smooth, and yet it's still hugely entertaining. Another favorite, and an obvious one on the Goldwing, is going to be comfort. Now, on this bike, I like everything from the seat height, to the peg height, to the reach to the bars, to the wind protection, and frankly, it all works exactly as you would expect on a top-of-the-line luxury touring motorcycle. The chassis is yet another favorite on the Goldwing, and the crown jewel of the chassis on the Goldwing is this new Hossack-style front end. It helps with everything from weight distribution to brake dive. And speaking of brake dive, you'll notice when you get on the brakes, they're really powerful and they're linked, which historically wasn't always a good thing, but on this bike, the system works seamlessly. Finally, this is a Goldwing Tour, and that means it comes stock with electronic suspension, which is a nice feature. Okay, so for favorites, we have engine, comfort, chassis. It sounds like it's basically a perfect motorcycle, right? Wrong. This is called favorites and fails, and there definitely are some fails. My number one fail on the Goldwing is the storage capacity. Now, on the Goldwing Tour, you have this 50-liter top trunk, but that means you have room for exactly one full-face helmet, and that is not enough. Plus, you have these saddlebags here, which should help, but the interior shape is kind of weird, and it makes it hard to pack the bags at their full capacity. Ultimately, this is a bike that is super comfortable and that you want to ride for many days and many miles. And I just feel like if it's you, and especially if it's you and a passenger, you're not going to be able to bring everything you want with the luggage that you have. Speaking of capacity, this 2018 Goldwing has a 5.55 gallon fuel tank, which is a fail and is less than the previous generation. Now, I understand why Honda did it. They wanted to make it a little more streamlined and a little bit lighter, but it has a fuel range of like 200 miles now. And for a bike that is as comfortable and as capable as this Goldwing is, that doesn't quite seem like enough. Now, I really like the whole interface and I like the display on the bike, but the integration of CarPlay into this display leaves a lot to be desired. You've got your bike, which is trying to talk to your phone, which is trying to talk to your headset, which is trying to talk to CarPlay, and you have all these pieces of technology that often break down in a really frustrating way. And I can tell there's a lot of potential with CarPlay, so I'm glad that Honda is doing it, but as of right now, it just feels a lot more like CarPlay and not quite enough like BikePlay. So those are the standout observations on the brand new Honda Goldwing. But there's a lot to this motorcycle, and frankly, we don't really have time to mention everything. So to wrap things up, here is a lightning round of my final favorites and fails. Favorite, electronic windscreen. Yeah. Fail, there is no way to show your speed on this giant, beautiful digital display. Favorite, heated grips, heated seat, and favorite, heated passenger seat. All standard on a Goldwing Tour. Fail, only one USB port or power port on this entire motorcycle. And final favorite, bumpin' sound system. That wraps up our favorites and fails on the 2018 Goldwing Tour. If you have any questions about this bike, or if there's another bike you'd like to see us cover, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time.